Thank you very much. Thank you for the beautiful presentation. I'm very happy to be here today, and thank you very much for the invite to actually show and give you a little bit update on the Hyperloop. You probably already heard it, but I want to start from a point of view of the transportation industry. Transportation, as you know, it is broken. If you think about it, we built our cities around the concept of cars, the automobile. Well, it's auto-immobile. In reality, it stays in a box for 80% of its time. And the rest of its time, it's stuck in traffic. But the big lie starts in this hypothetical dream that they sell us when they sell us the car. You're free to go, you're free in this amazing empty city that doesn't exist anywhere, and you're there in these scenarios that we'll all dream, and then you buy the car and exit the reseller. And that's what you get. Pollution, noise, overcrowded cities, they are not meant to actually deliver the human promise. There is a better life for everybody. And we conceive these systems to be broken in the design. If you look at your city and you're complaining, means only one thing. You've never been to China. China National Day. They've been stuck in traffic for 11 days. I don't even want to think of what was. It was a nightmare. And this is Beijing in a very good day. Because Beijing in a bad day looks like this. You actually run over the guy, the poor guy that you don't see. But it's getting worse and worse instead of improving. The urban planners know that as much road we build, the more traffic you will get. And if you look at different aspects of transportation, we're getting the same problems. Let's say, okay, I'm not taking the car, I will take urban transport. Well, if we look around the world on how we conceived these systems, they are not promising anything better. This is Beijing. I'm not against Beijing. It's just that it's very easy to describe what's happening there. But even London, one of the most advanced systems in the planet, has the same problem. There was some months ago, São Paulo. I was 2 months ago with the Ministry of Transport, and the situation was similar. And it's all over and over repeating all over the planet. I have to admit, it's not everywhere like this. I mean, in Japan, they fix it, finally. They hired people with white gloves that push the people inside the car to actually squeeze them in. And so there is a fix, but is it the future that we are foreseeing for our kids? I don't think this is the future. And if you look at the train industry, you know, we created the gauge based on the butt of the two horses. The problem is 1.38 meter from one gauge to another. If you increase this number of 30 centimeters, you can transport double the people and double the freight. But we have a legacy and we're not doing it. So the system has intrinsic mistakes that we've been over and over repeating it. 80% of the operation we do at an airport, you can actually do it even before you arrive there. Why they keep us stuck in lines, and everything seems to know where we are going except our luggage. We have the technology to fix this. And you're staring the carousel, well, it's promptly delivered in Botswana or something, but again, I have to be, honest. They fix it because now we have 11 shops that will resell your lost luggage all over America. So we have embedded the broken part into the system, so you can actually buy your own stuff at 70% discount. So you should go there. It's a bargain. But do we think this is the future that we deserve? I don't think so. So if I would tell you tomorrow is the last day of your life, well, you will start to think about all the things that you've never been able to do and to achieve, your family, your kids. And every single moment of that day will be very important to you. Well, if you're living in one of these cities, because of air pollution caused mainly by emission of cars, we're living 14, 22, 36 months less than was expected. And we think it's normal. We're becoming numb. And this is the worst thing can happen to humanity. The fact that we think that the mistake that we did is embedded in our society. This is not possible. We need to start to think at solutions. In 2013, Elon Musk, the brilliant entrepreneur, published a white paper that was not a new idea. It was a century-old idea, but it was talking about putting people inside tubes and moving them at the speed of sound. Well, it's very cool to see it in a newspaper, but the reality of the fact, the Hyperloop was present in the human imagination since 1836. Even the father of the rocket science, in 1904, patented a solution that was very similar to the Hyperloop. So we've had always the aspiration to actually solve a problem in a very simple way. Now, how many of you doesn't know what the Hyperloop is? Please raise your hand. It's okay, we are among friends, I don't get it personal. Everybody knows it? Good, awesome. I will have a little video to show you what is the Hyperloop. And we need a little bit of volume.
Imagine a capsule. Imagine a capsule placed inside a pressurized tube, the air removed to eliminate resistance. Not traveling on rails, but actually levitating above. Capable of reaching airplane speeds and beyond on the ground. This is a Hyperloop, and it is amazing. Even more amazing, at Hyperloop Transportation Technologies, we haven't been imagining, we've been building for the better part of 5 years. And amazing is where we started. We're transforming the passenger experience, putting comfort and safety at the center of everything we're doing. Our reimagined linear electric motor is powered by sustainable solar energy, propelling the capsule in a completely new, incredibly efficient passive levitation system. With these two breakthroughs, our system is capable of giving energy back to the grid. And when something didn't exist, we invented it. Introducing Vibranium, a composite material that monitors speed, capsule integrity, and atmospheric condition in real time, a new benchmark in passenger safety. And we're not done. Our team of over 800 strong, a worldwide intellectual ecosystem of thinkers and problem solvers, tackle each day with the humble goal of changing the world. With its speed and efficiency, the Hyperloop will rewrite the rules of travel and mobility. But that's just one side of the story. There's another side that will have a far greater impact. It's the side that redefines how we connect with one another. Where distant friends become neighbors, countries become neighborhoods. And everybody who inhabits this big, crazy world of ours grows a little closer together. Just imagine that.
I don't know if I've excited you yet, but it gets better. Now, imagine a capsule full of people. You put this capsule inside the tube. You levitate the capsule without using electricity. You take out the air from the tube, and now you can move the capsule from point A to point B at almost the speed of sound using a tiny fraction of the energy. It's not a promise of a scientific movie, it's reality. We are building it, the first one. But the most important concept that you have to understand about the Hyperloop is efficiency. Everybody talks about speed, but the real cool factor here is how efficient we can move people inside the system. Now, when we designed the Hyperloop, we used an adaptive design. It means we are trying not to solve one problem and create another 10. So we tried to put together the best ideas on how to integrate inside the cladding and the structure different aspects of what we need in a city, like high bandwidth, 5G, desalinization, and also the excess of energy can be redistributed along the line. The pylons are using a cement that absorbs carbon dioxide and release oxygen, and the overall design is adaptive. It can change depending on the places where we are actually designing the system. And it can be lighter in outside the cities and more complex inside the city to provide to the citizen even vertical gardening and spaces to actually use the city back instead of dividing it. It's like a concept of a river instead of a concept of a road. A road, when you build it, destroys everything. Animals cannot migrate, you bifurcate the land, you diminish the value of the land. With the Hyperloop system, we are trying to do what a river does. It brings life back. The animal can move. We are not creating an architectonic barrier. We're trying to give back to the land as much as we can. And we have technologies that allow us to do it. And this is very important in the overall design of an Hyperloop system. But when I talk about efficiency, I talk about the possibility to combine a combination of renewable energy, solar, wind, kinetic energy, because the capsule that moves can generate electricity, regenerative braking, because the capsule that stops can generate electricity. And in some climates where the solar panels are not efficient, we use geothermal. The combination of this technology can create up to 30% more energy than we consume. Now, I don't know if you've been in Ottawa. That's not typically where you get sun. And we are capable of producing 15% more energy from a feasibility study that we've done there. So it's a system that is destined to be extremely efficient, because we are talking about the efficiency that we have right now, but the efficiency is going up, the cost is going down. It's a bright future for technologies like this. Of course, if you look at the Hyperloop application, cargo is one of the first applications that comes in mind. We're working with one of the top ports in the world. There is Hamburg port. That is the most advanced in terms of technology to develop systems that are compatible with existing infrastructure. I mean, cranes and intermodal and intramodal with the existing infrastructure. But when we talk about the Hyperloop, we always think about traveling very fast from one city to another. And of course, our company was at the forefront to actually develop a passenger solution. When we're talking about the Hyperloop, you have to understand a complete difference from a train. In a train, you try to pack as much people as you can, and then you can try to move them from point A to point B to point C to point D. I have a problem. I have to go to point Z. I need to stop all the way. It's very inefficient. Now, with the Hyperloop, you have a small capsule of 30, 40, 50 people, different sizes, depending if it's urban or interurban. And then you move them very quickly, every 40 seconds. Imagine that you can reach 3,400 people an hour, 120,000 people a day, 24 million people a year with one tube. But in the same structure, you can put up to 7 tubes. So you can scale up. If Forrester is right, I hope not, and we will be 9 billion people within 2050, there's no point in the planet that we cannot serve with one Hyperloop system. And this is revolutionary because it solved the problems of scalability that roads and other systems have. We're not theoretical of this technology, we're building it. This is an example of what you can achieve when you put together the best minds in the planet. I have a video for that. So imagine that to build this capsule, we did something that the air industry wasn't able to do in 30 years of development. From the moment they decided to go in carbon fiber, in 30 years of development, they developed a technology that has 60% maximum carbon fiber. In 1 year and a half, 20,000 skilled engineering hours contributed by our partners, we developed a capsule that has 80% carbon fiber. Why is it so relevant? Well, a cheaper, lighter, and more safe material allow you to build something that is unprecedented. A capsule that is capable of having multiple touch points, whatever. Okay, we're not capable. They have multiple touch points. Embedded in the mesh, there's a series. Okay.
It literally takes.
It was say.
And that's what we're doing. We started to manufacture the first full-scale passenger Hyperloop capsule in the world. We're working with the best in class.
I'm Paul Priestman, and I'm the chairman of Priestman Good. We're the leading transportation design company in the world. We work in many sectors, the aviation sector, the rail sector, and even in space. It's been great working with Hyperloop Transportation Technologies. Their ethos is very similar to ours here at Priestman Good. What we're trying to do jointly is develop the most modern, the most futuristic form of transport.
We developed a new material. We called it vibranium. Vibranium is the safest material on Earth. It's intelligent. It actually senses integrity. It monitors impact. We're manufacturing the capsule with a double layer. So if one skin is damaged, you still have the other one and can take the capsule out of circulation. Production will roughly take 1 year at our partner Capurs, which is manufacturing also for Airbus and Boeing.
In the case of Hyperloop, this could be thought of as an airplane without wings. Putting those two teams together was crucial to really get the ideas and the technologies to really materialize and see what we're actually seeing today.
By using cutting-edge technology, we're transforming mobility as we know it. Para nosotros, it's been a pleasure being part of the process from the beginning, from designing the capsule to manufacturing, assembly, and final delivery.
Together, we have built the world's first hyper passenger capsule, and now we're sending it to our research and development facility in Toulouse for integration and testing.
So this jewel of engineering is unleashing a new potentiality. Imagine vehicles that are capable of 70 touch points that are not only capable of telling you what's happening outside and inside, but they're with predictive analysis, they can actually be smart, intelligent. They can predict danger and eventually help us to avoid it. And this is a technology, one of the examples of the technology that we are developing. Imagine how many of this innovation we are putting inside the design of an Hyperloop through an amazing list of partners that are contributing in this amazing journey. Now, the beauty of what we are doing is not only that we are applying very nice technology to the problem of moving people from point A to point B, but also to redesign the passenger experience. The passenger experience sucks, guys. When I'm traveling, I'm not happy. I'm not enjoying. I'm not saying, oh, that's beautiful, I have to do 4 hours of car. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't happen. So we try to push the reset button. For us, the new generation of passenger should not have anything else than its biometry. No class, no external factor can determine what is your journey, only you. You need something different where you're going to work than when you're coming back to work. When you are with your wife, you need something different than when you are a tourist. You're the same person with different needs. So the passenger of the future needs to take in consideration the H factor, the human factor. And that's where we are focusing. We're focusing on designing and developing technologies that allow to bring back the centrality of the passenger. You will be looking out, and instead of looking at a windows, you will look at a screen that is so defined that will simulate reality. I invite you to go to the Dubai Mall and see the 8K definition screen. It's very near to what the eye is able to perceive. In reality, MIT told us that we are 11 to 12K in pixel definition, our eye. The rest is discarded, basically. So we're very near now to produce screens that are real near definition. But the beauty of what we are creating is we are also giving perspective, because a screen doesn't have perspective. If you move, it doesn't move. With the motion capturing system, we invented the augmented windows. They are capable of giving you the right perspective. Now, where do you want to go? You want to go to Paris? You want to see the Emirates at the time of the sheikhs, when everything was created. We can bring you there. And it's not only a very cool way on the future, it's a monetization system. Because you can now finally democratize the price of the ticket, give it very basic, because the price per passenger is very low, and then charge premium services. So allow even low-income people to actually access to the service. And the station is completely redefined. We call it dewdrop. You're entering in a system that is completely frictionless. We have, of course, risk profiles. everybody get passively scanned, and we only stop the people that deserve it. So the strategy on safety and security is using the most advanced tools. But also the entire concept is redesigned, because you are capable of loading in 2 to 7 minutes, and then you have always one capsule departing every 30 seconds. And we have very interesting dewdrop design that allow us to do it. We're not theoretical again, we are working with 12 sovereign nations to implement the system, and we are at various stages of development with the different countries. I will go back about UAE. We've been nominated Technology Pioneers 2018, and we are working on the Advanced Mobility Group, Advanced Manufacturing Group, and the Fourth Industrial Revolution Group to redesign the value chain of passenger. We've also been pretty exposed. I'm sorry if we have been there, but it's really organic. We never spent a penny in marketing. And no, we are not building Abu Dhabi, Dubai, unfortunately. I have to repeat it over and over. We are building a test track in Abu Dhabi that is between Abu Dhabi and Dubai, but the location is Al Ghadir, is in Abu Dhabi. We're not working on a Hyperloop line yet. But the Hyperloop is not only about moving people from cities. We also have a urban version. So to make you understand what we are doing with the Hyperloop, I usually use an example like the elevator. In the modern elevator, when you go in front of the button, there's not a button anymore, there's a number, right, that you have to insert. Why? Because an artificial intelligence will send you not the closest elevator, but the one that will serve more people, the one that will be the most efficient. We are doing exactly the same. Imagine that a horizontal Hyperloop, a horizontal elevator, the first capsule will depart and serve X5, the second one X4, the third one X3, and so on, and all the combination based on demand, on an artificial intelligence that can set up the demand. Where are we on the Hyperloop? When will be riding an Hyperloop? That's a question I always receive. Well, the first thing I want to tell you about us as a company is that what I will show you today was achieved in less than 6 years. And the beauty of what we have done is the way we have done it. Instead of raising as much money as we can and spend it as fast as we can, we knew we didn't have all the answers, so we did a call to action. We said, whoever in the world that has the knowledge to join our team and help us build the Hyperloop, we will give you stocks of the company. And what happened after is magic. We have 50 people full employed around the world, and 10 of them are here in UAE. And in the rest of the world, we have 800 people working from 42 countries. It's very often defined as the biggest startup. I hate this definition. I think we are the biggest effort that humanity did to put together the best minds in the planet to solve one of the biggest problems, that is transportation. But there's hope to actually apply the same approach also in the other industries. Right now, 70,000 contributed hours are contributed every year to this project from different individuals or partners, even the top companies in the world, Dara Andersen, Prisman & Good, Perkins & Will, Munich Re, Labeled, the top of the industries are teaching us how to apply their technology on the single problem that we have in the Hyperloop. And even Harvard did a case study on us saying that we are a model to actually implement the companies of the future. There's a course in Harvard that teaches our model. And His Highness Sheikh Fallah bin Zayed Al Nahyan is our local sponsor in Abu Dhabi. And we're pretty honored about this endorsement. Even NASA has a space agreement with us with 2 of the top astronauts being our global ambassador, and they're doing all our CFD simulation. Now, I promise you to show you where we are, and here's a little sneak preview. There are some images that we haven't released yet. You will see in the next few months, several of these coming out. In Toulouse, the government of France gave us a space inside the military airport, the Francazal airport, to actually develop our R&D and to build the first full-scale Hyperloop of history. When I say full-scale, I have to be very specific on that, because this is the only real full-scale Hyperloop existing in the world. when I talk about full scale, I'm talking about the size that allow people to actually enter in a capsule like an airplane, sit down, having the real size for freight and passenger. This is only possible if you reach a width of a tube that is pretty big. This is an example of what I'm talking about. It's pretty big. If you will be there, you will understand what I'm talking about. Imagine two of these to allow people to go in two directions. And the first Hyperloop has been completed. This is a first track. There's another track in construction. There's almost a kilometer arrived to Toulouse. And we're already starting to final assembly the capsule that is already there in Toulouse and actually test all the components of the Hyperloop. This is also the certification track because the technology can't be used if it's not certified and there's not a regulation. You probably read the news 4 days ago. We were in the European community to present the first framework of the new regulation for the Hyperloop. This is a historical moment because this is the start, the official start of the Hyperloop industry, where the governments acquired the elements to regulate this technology. And we're pretty excited that Hyperloop Transportation Technology was the proponent and the selected company to create the regulation. So in the next few months, you will see all this coming to fruition. We're starting the testing and also working with the certification agency to certify all the elements. To give you another glimpse of the innovation that we are bringing, this is a robot. It's called orbital welding. It's a technology that is used for the first time here. It's not so sexy in terms of image, but it gives you the precision. It's a micron precision welding. It means that it guarantees that all the elements of the Hyperloop are welded in a way they are safe and it doesn't have leaks. Leaks are not a big problem. We can compensate it through another amazing innovation that is this. Is a pumping system that every kilometer will be put and allow you to pump down the system from 1 bar, that is the pressure that we have outside, from 1 Pascal, that is the pressure that will be inside the tube. And we have valves that can be open in case of emergency. In a few seconds, you can go back to the pressure of Armstrong. It's called the Armstrong limit, that it will allow you not to be in danger. So the Hyperloop itself has a physics that guarantees safety that is not the same of an airplane. Unfortunately, I don't want to scare anybody, but if you're in high altitude and something depressurized, there's nothing really you can do to save the passenger except nosedive. The mask doesn't work. I don't want to scare you guys, but there's a lot of risk that we are taking in the air industry that will not be present in the Hyperloop. Now, I want to leave you with this, that is an amazing journey that we did in UAE. Thanks to the Department of Transport and the Municipality of Abu Dhabi, we conducted the biggest and most extensive feasibility study ever done on an Hyperloop. This is a video that shows you a line that we studied there. The first track is now in design. We hope to hit the ground in January next year and will be growing into a project that will see the first Hyperloop commercial line available here for the first time in history in UAE. So I'm particularly proud of this project. We have part of the team that made this possible, and I want to show you the video. I think you have to diminish a little bit the audio now. I heard. Perfect.
It is in our nature to move. Humankind has leveraged increasingly better modes of movement and overcome distance across land, sea and sky. The economic growth after every innovation in transport has been astounding. Abu Dhabi in the UAE has for centuries been an innovator of transport for people and goods. Located 145 kilometers away from Abu Dhabi is the historic city of Al Ain, a city of great antiquity. Currently, Abu Dhabi and Al Ain are connected via a highway that traverses the desert, reaching Al Ain in a little over 2 hours. Imagine making the same journey in 50 minutes with the introduction of a new, revolutionary mode of transportation, Hyperloop. The Hyperloop TT system is a capsule within an enclosed tube environment exclusively licensed in-duct track system. The Department of Transport of Abu Dhabi, supporting Abu Dhabi Vision 2030, commissioned Hyperloop TT to conduct the world's first complete feasibility study to evaluate the development of a commercial Hyperloop system. The study covered an assessment of the technical, financial, and regulatory requirements. The implementation of Hyperloop will showcase Abu Dhabi's aspiration for sustainable and autonomous transport solutions. With departures every 2 minutes and an unparalleled experience, the Hyperloop TT system is built for the passenger. Next generation design will ensure that the Hyperloop system does not divide neighborhoods and communities. The tube system traversing the stretches of desert is designed with solar panels integrated into its external cladding. Hyperloop will transform the way we live and work by establishing a completely new ecosystem encompassing Abu Dhabi and Al Ain. Hyperloop transportation represents a new era of development for Abu Dhabi and Al Ain, bringing these two iconic cities and their people closer, opening up new experiences for residents and tourists, and revealing new business opportunities.
So I'm very excited on what's happening in the region. I personally moved in the region. I live here since 2 years, and I'm excited to do this journey here where there's a vision and there's the ecosystem to actually build this kind of project. And we need help. We need people and talents that join the team to make this journey more exciting and also fruitful. So there are people that are trying to predict the future. We are building it. Thank you very much. Thank you.